Namaste everyone, welcome to CamCult. This is an insanely in-depth review of Samsung Galaxy S26 after using it for 2 months. I will cover all its features, hardware, AI, camera, tips and tricks in depth. If you are planning to buy or you already have it, this video will help you make up your mind or explore the hidden powers of this phone. So do watch the video. Without further delay, let's dive into the Galaxy. This phone comes in a very minimalistic box with just the eject pin and the USB-C cable and the basic user guides, of course without the charger. Samsung has saved the Mother Earth again. I got the cobalt violet color and it looks amazing and feels ultra premium in hands. We deserve that for this price tag. The SIM tray is located at the bottom of the phone. It supports the dual SIMs but no SD card support. It also supports dual eSIMs as well. There is a microphone, USB-C charging, OTG and audio output port all in one. I have tried it with my AKG headset and it works well. Then we have the speakers. I will cover its quality in detail later. On the right hand side we have the power or Bixby button and the volume rockers. They are tactile and they feel really good. At the top we have 2 noise cancelling microphones and also we have the second speaker which acts as an earpiece during calls. On the front we have a 6.3-inch Full HD plus dynamic AMOLED display, slightly bigger than earlier models. It cases almost invisible bezels and a punch hole for the 12-megapixel selfie camera. The front display is protected by Gorilla Glass Victus 2, same as previous model. Underneath the display there is a fingerprint scanner. The back is also Gorilla Glass Victus 2 and the flat frame is made of aluminum. The whole body is kind of a matte finish, hence making it fingerprint or grease proof. The cameras are housed in what Samsung calls an island design. Yeah, why not? Rings are slightly raised, hence it will not fit tight on the tabletop. It weighs 167 grams, little more than S24 and S25. Still very lightweight. And because of the flat frame, it feels like holding the prettiest little gadget in your hands. This device is IP68 certified. That means you don't need to worry about using it in the rain. It can manage up to 1.5 meter under fresh water for 30 minutes max. Please do pause on the screen and read few limits called out by Samsung. Now let's look at the most loved feature of Samsung flagships, which is the display. The 6.3-inch display has approximately 90% screen to body ratio, one of the best in the class, hence making the bezels ultra thin and giving a futuristic look to the display when watching content. Though it has only Full HD plus resolution, you won't feel much of a difference even if you are switching from Quad HD phones. Though at this price range, I wish Samsung had provided Quad HD display. It has a fairly good 2600 nits of peak brightness, making it easier to use in broad daylight. As the screen size is 6.3 inches, relatively small, and it has a high pixel density of 411 ppi with 120Hz refresh rate, you will get a very fluid and smooth experience. Don't judge me, but I felt the experience is even better than my iPhone 16 Pro Max. Because of the high refresh rate, scrolling is buttery smooth and feels awesome, but it does drain more battery. With all these combinations like compact design, high refresh rate, high brightness, high pixel density and best-in-class screen to body ratio, the device won't fail to cast a spell on you and make you stare at it the whole day. It feels like holding a compact infinite powerhouse device in your hands. Now speaking of power, Samsung has finally increased the battery to 4300 mAh. Samsung claims that we can watch up to 30 hours of videos. I tried the battery drain test with Amazon videos and YouTube videos in different resolutions and the phone lasted for 17 to 18 hours just videos. I even tried to imitate real world usage like intermediate video watching, Twitter scrolling, Insta Reels, calls, messages and spent some time on changing the wallpaper, settings, music, Photoshop. I can definitely see a lot of improvements from S24 days. It got me through the day and even at 10% it lasted for 4 to 5 hours with moderate use. Kudos to Samsung as it has been my complaint all along. It supports up to 25 watts wired and 25 watt wireless charging, which is pretty decent, and you get from 10% to 100% in just 90 minutes. I have ordered Samsung's 25 watt magnet wireless charger and I will make a full review of that next week. Stay tuned. Another victim of this compact design is the speaker. It has two stereo speakers, they are loud enough, however, they are missing the depth in sound quality that we expect from premium phones. Because of copyright issues, I cannot play popular music for you, however, from the songs I am playing now, you will get a gist of what I am saying. Having said that, it's not entirely bad either. Speakers are loud, so you can use them to enjoy the podcasts, news, videos, tutorials, etc., where the music instrument is not a main player. Even at the max volume, the sound does not distort even a bit. That was impressive. And if you want better sound, please make sure you enable Dolby Atmos from the settings. Next, fingerprint scanner. It really is responsive and detects the prints 99.9% of the time. I even put a tempered glass on and still it does not stutter. If you have wet fingers, no problem. Screen is sprinkled with raindrops, no problem. It works and it works good. Well, thumbs up Samsung on this. Now let's look into the connectivity part. This phone checks all the boxes in terms of connectivity. It has got Bluetooth 5.4 and Wi-Fi 802.11 with Wi-Fi Direct and hotspot. The S26 also possesses NFC and all the latest GPS positioning technologies. The USB-C port also acts as an audio output and OTG for data transfer with computers. This device supports Samsung wired and wireless DeX. DeX is one of my favorite features of Samsung and I often use it while working from home. And now, the main purpose phones were invented for, the calls. The S26 supports 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G and all the Gs. Basically every band and every service provider SIM in India are supported. It produces amazing voice clarity for both parties. Even in a bit of noisy situation, the other person can hear you clearly thanks to noise suppressing microphones. I also use Jio and Airtel SIMs for testing. Data speed is brilliant. Well, of course, it also depends on the network provider. Now let's look at some of the most important and most discussed hardware components, that's RAM and Exynos processor. Yes, in the United States and some other countries, Samsung is shipping Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, which is a very efficient chipset. And for the rest of the world, it's Exynos 2600 Deca-core chipset. Samsung claims that this chipset is customized for Galaxy devices. So far, I haven't seen it sweating while handling daily tasks. Now there is no more 8GB RAM. 12GB RAM seems to handle the pressure pretty fine. I have tried opening multiple apps at once and using split screen etc. It did not cause any issues. Even switching between the apps was seamless irrespective of the number of apps we had open in the backend. It also has RAM Plus, which uses your phone storage space to provide virtual memory. You can choose how much virtual memory can be used from 2GB to 12GB under device care. This is a good option as many of us are content creators these days. I also tried rendering a heavily edited video using Filmora and some AI tasks, and below are the results. With more than 50 clips, videos, photos, VFX transition, music and stickers adding to 10 minutes of video. While editing there was a little lag here and there. I exported it in 4K 60fps, which had an approximate output size of 3GB. It completely rendered the whole video in just 5 minutes. That's so beautiful, so elegant, just looking like a wow. Guys, this is really impressive. Imagine editing a full-length YouTube review of 10 minutes on this tiny phone. That's really impressive. Yes, it did heat up, and that's absolutely normal because even laptops and high-end phones will get warm while rendering videos. But got down to the normal temperature within 1 minute. It houses a bigger vapor chamber cooling, which is really effective, and you can feel the heat cooling down faster than earlier generations. So to conclude, overall the performance is smooth and better managed. So far in terms of performance, the Exynos chip is not giving me any trouble.
मजा आया.
Now the hot topic of smartphones these days, the camera. Samsung most certainly is a front runner when it comes to cameras. Let's look into what S26 can capture. After all, we are cam cult. S26 houses triple cameras, the main wide-angle camera with 50 megapixels and optical image stabilization, a 10 megapixel telephoto lens with 3x optical zoom and OIS, and 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera with super steady video. All three cameras are equipped with night mode and can record up to Ultra HD 60 frames per second. which gives enough flexibility to shoot in different scenarios. Only the main 50MP lens can record up to 8K 30fps videos, and the super steady shot is available only for the main and ultra wide cameras. While using super steady, you cannot use the night mode. If the lighting is not sufficient, then remember, the telephoto lens won't get activated. Rather, the main 50MP camera will digitally zoom into 3x and record the video. A new feature called smooth zoom slider is added, but it's not really that smooth, especially when you're recording close-up shots, as it will switch between the wide and telephoto lens while zooming. Shifting focus between objects is now better than before. It's smooth and doesn't look like a sudden switch. Apple has mastered this art, Samsung has a long way to go. As all three cameras record Ultra HD 60fps, below samples are shot in same optimal resolution for better knowing their capabilities. The new feature horizontal lock is dope. You can now do yoga with your phone literally while recording video, but the lens will lock onto the same horizon. It works both for vertical and horizontal videos.
Wow, क्या scene है?
The camera layout remains the same, and you can find all your options and settings in the same place. It has Pro mode that works for all three lenses, and you can use it for videos as well as photos. It's good for professionals who know how to play around with the controls. Well, in Pro video mode, you can select whether the voice should be captured from the front or rear of the lens. You can also record using your Bluetooth headset. It allows you to record in log format, a raw huge file that helps creators edit at will. You may need an external SSD with high writing speed to use this option. You can also record all video formats in SSD directly with the help of Camera Assistant app. Watch my most comprehensive and extensive video on using SSDs with Samsung and iPhone devices, linked in the description. Slow-mo mode works for all the lenses and can record up to 240fps in Full HD and 120fps in Ultra HD. It performs great in daylight, but in low light it struggles. Portrait video works in Ultra HD or Full HD up to 30fps only and works on 1x or 2x zooms, but not in ultra wide. This is good for capturing or recording interviews or monologues, but you will see a little softened edges around the portrait objects, so don't expect pro level output. Single take feature lets you record one shot for a desired time, and the AI breaks that shot into multiple types of shots. Dual recording helps you record travel logs, etc. with one frame from the selfie camera and one from the rear camera. Another interesting feature is Expert RAW. It's almost like Pro mode with more options. In this, you can also capture Astro photos by enabling your location. A little gimmicky but good to show off during your hill station trips. Pro tip: single take feature, dual recording and night mode are hidden by default. If you want them, you can download the Camera Assistant app from Samsung and enable those options manually. Thank me later. Photos taken in daylight are phenomenal, little contrasty but stunning. Even in night mode, what Samsung refers as Nightography, it captures stunning photos and videos, but in some places you will feel like things are overexposed. Shots are not consistent, little granular, and the AI's attempt to soften them will over soften them at times. The focal depth is excellent. You can get closer to your objects, and even the minute objects like wires etc. can be focused, unlike iPhone's high-end series. You can also capture macro photos, but unlike iPhones, it does not capture macro photos with the ultra-wide lens. Rather, you need to zoom in with 3x lens and capture the pictures. It has inbuilt scan features. If you are scanning for a document, you can capture multiple pages in the scan, edit them, remove the fingers with AI, change folded corners, even save them as PDF. It's good to have it inbuilt. Here are a few photo samples taken in different environments and for different purposes. To conclude, overall the cameras are really good for beginners, intermediate social media users, good for Instagram, Facebook and making some basic YouTube videos. It has tons of customizations and features to play around with. But do not expect pro level outputs like the S26 Ultra or high-end iPhones. If you already have S24 or S25, then I advise you not to upgrade just for the camera. Except some software tweaks, there really isn't a significant upgrade worth your wallet. Now that pretty much covers all the hardware components of the phone. Please leave a comment and let me know if you want to know anything else related to these components or if I have missed anything. Samsung is way ahead in AI race compared to Apple. So let's deep dive into advanced intelligence in Samsung S26 lineups and few new unique features in One UI 8.5 and Android 16. The exciting thing is Samsung has promised major Android updates for 7 years, if at all you are planning to use it for that long. I will show you in detail what this advanced intelligence is all about. Finally, now the S26 series supports directly transferring media to Apple devices, just like Airdrop. Enable it under Quick Share settings. In the media share, select Quick Share and Apple devices will show under nearby devices. This I would say is a big thing, especially for creators. I have tested it with the MacBook and iPhone. Transfer speed is really good. And now you can broadcast your voice and media to nearby devices. With direct voicemail, callers can leave a voice message and you can see the messages on screen real time. Samsung has added private albums. You can move your photos to private album and access it right from gallery with biometric. Earlier we had secure folder for everything you want to hide including apps, but this private album is dedicated for gallery media. Lock screen clock is more fluid and adaptable to wallpapers. At least that's what they claim. I tried hard but it did not work for me. Maybe I am missing something. Comment below if you have figured it out. Samsung claims the new maximum power saving option is very effective. Yes, it is, but it's not new as advertised. I have seen it even in the old Note series utilizing OLED displays to their best. In AI department, most of the features are existing ones like circle to search, moving objects in image and gallery, call translation, chat translation, assistive features in Note app, etc. I have made a comprehensive video on how to use Samsung AI. Check description for the link. Here we will cover few new features in S26. These may even be released to S24 and S25 devices in the near future. This new photo editing feature is magical. You take a photo and click on this AI option, type your imagination and it will do the rest. It won't take complex commands, but only the basic things like adding objects, changing backgrounds, etc. Here I have a picture of food plate and see these commands. In this another picture taken in low light, almost no light. If I turn it into a day, it miraculously adds few real existing things that aren't dominantly visible in the actual picture taken. See the same picture at night, these three stickers aren't visible in the original picture. Here is a new app itself called Creative Studio powered by AI. You can choose your image and create stickers in different style. You can add text and edit them layer by layer. Just another gimmicky thing, and trust me, you won't use most of these features second time. If you do, kudos to you. Well, that covers all the aspects of this phone's features and performance after rigorous testing. To conclude, this definitely is a compact beauty with good specs and great looks. I wish the processor and battery management were better. Speakers need some improvement. It has a really great display and smooth experience. Samsung One UI definitely adds productivity to the phone. New AI features are really exciting, fun to play with, and they are really good. But don't base your buying decision entirely on AI because these are software and can be added to any kind of phone in the future. In the real world, we also might not use them on a regular basis. Hence, always focus on the hardware part and OS updates and value for money. Hope this detailed review helped you make your mind. We have put a lot of effort into this, so please do share this video and subscribe to our channel. We will be back with more exciting content. Thanks for watching.